KTTH Seattle Talk Radio host Jason Rantz. The gentleman on Williams P has talked about the keys to the kingdom. I want to put this list up on the screen, Jason, because this is what TikTok collects, right? Your name, age, username, password, language, email, phone, comments, photographs, live stream, audio recording, videos, text, hashtags, payment card number, that's your credit card, and other third-party payment information. I think that's pretty much the whole thing, Jason.
Yeah, what don't they collect at this point? There are clear national security threats here. There is a fair point to be raised that other apps do pretty much the exact same thing. The difference, however, is that this is a company that ultimately is effectively controlled by the Chinese government. They are not our friends. They are our enemies. And so why would we give them this kind of information that they could use to influence elections? We're already dealing with big tech companies here in the United States trying to do that. We don't have to give this to one of our enemies.
Yeah, the CEO, of course, goes before Congress tomorrow. I want to put this poll up. This is the Washington Post. Americans concerned that TikTok's parent company is based in China. 71% concerned, 36% very concerned. I mean, that's pretty much a consensus, Jason. I mean, those are big numbers.
Yeah, I think everyone has to pay attention to the politicians who are going to defend TikTok here. There are some questionable folks taking questionable positions that just happen to align with Chinese interests, and we need to pay attention to those people and see what other things they're doing behind the scenes, what other bills that they're actually supporting that also could benefit the Chinese Communist government.
Yeah, it's interesting. We just did Common Sense on Mayor Muriel Bowser in D.C., kind of giving a sliding rate for traffic fines, right? You make the lower income people pay less and the higher income people pay more. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a tax. It's a tax to drive. At the end of the day, if they truly cared about safety on the roads, they would not go into a system that will get them a whole lot of money. What they don't tell you about these surveillance systems is that they require millions upon millions of dollars just to operate. And so they benefit when you actually break the law. And ultimately, they take that money and they spend it on pet projects. If they truly cared about any of this, you know what you would do? You would hire more cops. But DC cops all over the country have been demonized. One thing we don't do while we see an officer around, we don't speed.
Yeah. Up in your neck of the woods, Portland Transit or TriMet had to air out the trains. Here's a drug counselor. Listen to him.
Ride the MAX train sometimes, and fentanyl use on the trains is very common. The risk is after a person smokes, they usually will nod out. And when they nod out, they oftentimes drop what they were using. And even a couple milligrams of fentanyl can be fatal.
Yeah, I mean, it's unusual to air out trains. They got 15 seconds left for you, Jason.
Yeah, it's a serious problem in the Pacific Northwest. Up here, we've got bus drivers who are getting sick and having to go to the hospital because of fentanyl exposure. And unfortunately, public health departments, they don't want to stigmatize drug users, and so they're pretending it's not actually a problem.
Yeah, don't stigmatize those people, for goodness sake. Jason Rantz, thank you.
Thanks, Tress.
Well, coming